So it's kind of an unwritten rule with this podcast that the only partners we work with for these promos at the beginning of the episodes are, organizations, venues, bands, labels, businesses, anything that I kind of personally promote and agree with and would like to support. And if you're a regular listener to the podcast, especially to the live episodes, you've probably heard me complaining or Ryan making fun of my old man knees. So basically, I have arthritis in my knees, and until now, I've never really had anything that will deal with the pain. My friend recommended that I try a CBD product on my knees. CBD is a non-psychoactive component of the cannabis or hemp plant. I tried it on my knees, and it was unbelievable. I can't say enough good things about how well this worked. As someone who does a lot of walking, especially outdoors in inclement weather in Winnipeg, it's night and day in terms of my ability to just go and do what I want, and without having to deal with any annoying aches and pains in my knees. So I'm very happy to bring on Low Cloud as the newest partner for Witchpolice Radio. Low Cloud Incorporated is Winnipeg's premier legal CBD online retailer. They carry a wide variety of products from CBD oils to vitamins to pain relief to even skincare. They'll ship right to your door, no medical card or green card needed. You just have to be 18 plus. All of their products are derived from industrial hemp, and their products are rated top 3 in the world for purity, sitting at 99.9%. Check out their website lowcloud.ca for testimonials in their blog, for some great educational pieces, as well as their massive variety of products. They ship Canada-wide and also do local private delivery. Please use my code CBDWitch for 15% off your first order. This episode of Witchpolice Radio is also brought to you by another great show at the Park Theatre. On April 5th, check out Ridley Bent and the Killer Tumbleweeds at the Park Theatre with opener Kevin Roy, who you may recognize as a past guest on this show. Doors are at 7 p.m., shows at 8 p.m., and tickets are $20 in advance, available online at the Park Theatre or from Into the Music Osborne. And stay tuned in a few weeks because we have an exclusive interview with Ridley that will be airing on this show.
You're listening to Garbage Hill, Winnipeg's first podcast network.
Welcome to Witchpolice Radio. I'm in the food court again. It seems like a regular occurrence, and I'm here with Raine Hamilton, who I think you've been on the show before, but not in the regular format. We kind of stalked you last time at Shine On and snuck up behind one of your practices for the show and sort of guerrilla interviewed you there.
That was a great moment.
It was fun, actually. Yeah, it was very cool because we got to hear the actual live performance before the performance kind of thing. So,
but yeah, that was like a sneaky behind-the-scenes move there.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Good.
This is a little bit more formal, even though we're in a food court. So again, it's a weird location. But
hey, I like to be as close as possible to an A&W at all times.
Yeah, well, it's good.
I'm into it.
Get on your rings, make sure you stay stocked on your rings. But I guess the main reason that we're here today with you is because you have a new album coming out this coming weekend.
That's true. March 24th, we're releasing this new album, Night Sky, at the West End Cultural Center.
Okay, cool. It seems like a good venue, a good fit. Yeah, it's okay. It's all good. I may or may not edit that out, but it's okay. It's
true.
Yeah, no, it's got its auto settings, so
okay, great.
It's good. Okay, so I'll pretend that didn't happen. It's all good. So the West End seems like a pretty good fit for what you do. I don't know if there is a venue that is best suited for you, but I mean that seems like one might be up there on the list.
It's one of my favorite ones of all time for sure.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. And working with those people too, the team at the West End, just like a really open-minded, hard-working group of people. It's great.
For sure, yeah. It's a good venue. I think it's one of the kind of standout Winnipeg venues for whatever kind of music you're playing. So that's a cool place to do the release. So what can you tell me about the record? Like I know this is on its way out by the time we're recording this, but one of the things I read on your website and just in general, it seemed like there was a lot of references, and I thought this was really cool, to space and like sky. Like it seems like very, I don't even know what the word is for it, but a lot of like cosmic references almost, if that makes sense. So how does that fit into what you're doing?
Well, that's true. Like I sat down one day to like, I was like, okay, album, speak to me.
Right.
What should we call you? What is like your natural name? And just really like listening through and looking through the lyrics, there are a lot of references to the sky, and there's a lot of that imagery in there.
Is that intentional, or is that just sort of how it came out?
It's just how it came out. Like just looking at the collection of songs after they were recorded, that was a really common thread. So I just chose to run with that.
That's kind of cool. So has that happened before with the collection? Like, have you found like a theme in a collection of songs you've done, or is this kind of the first time they all sort of fit that?
I think that often, like, the songs will kind of find a way that they fit together.
Okay.
Like a puzzle.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is it's obviously good for an album because you have kind of a recurring.
Like, thank goodness. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very good when that happens.
Right. So is this your second full length or?
It is the second full
okay.
length.
And
yeah.
when was the first one released?
The first one was released in 2015.
Okay, so it's been a few years.
Past Your Past, yeah.
Okay. Is there for people who have heard your first album and are kind of familiar with that stuff? Is there a drastic change of any kind in terms of the sound? Like, has there been much movement, or are you sticking kind of with the same sound that you've sort of established as your sound, I guess?
I think that there has been growth. Like, the first album is...
That's what you want, right?
That's what, yeah. I really do hope for that in all things. The first album I would describe as like chamber folk.
Right.
And then this is like even more chamber folk.
Okay.
It's like more attention to arrangement, more detail, more out there.
Okay. I think that when you were on last time, the defining what chamber folk was something that I asked you because I wasn't entirely clear on myself.
Sure.
But for people who may also be confused as to what that actually is, can you just define that again?
Absolutely.
And then how it applies to what you do?
Absolutely. So we've got like the tradition of folk music, of like singer-songwriter, like kind of verse-chorus arrangement type of songs. And then also we have this vibe of like a string quartet or like a chamber music, classical tradition kind of combined. And for me, that's a really organic combination because my parents are singer-songwriters, met in a band in the 70s. Cool. That's like my total heritage. And I grew up playing violin, and I have a degree in classical violin, so chamber music is one of my favorites.
So you're mixing both of those things that naturally come. That makes sense, yeah.
It's like a twist ice cream cone of my favorite things of life. It's the best.
So is there? I mean, when you said this is more chambery, like, how do you get? How do you explain that? I mean, what's more chambery about it? I know you didn't say chambery. I made that up, but
it's a great word. How do we get there? I think we approached the arrangements more like a string quartet. Okay.
Rather than from a folk singing kind of setup? Yeah.
So we shifted kind of like the pie graph.
Right.
Would show more, more string quartet.
Higher percentage of string quartet, Okay. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. And I noticed you have a video, too, for one of these tracks, which was really cool. And it sounds like there's a lot to it, more than just, hey, we made a video. Like, there's on your website, there's kind of descriptions from all the artists involved about what it meant to them and the process of making it. So if you can give me some info on that, that would be very cool. Sure.
So that's the video to the single we released in the fall. The single is Lift Me Up.
Right.
And what we did there is some local Winnipeg artist pals of mine, visual artists, made collaborative work inspired by that song, or based off of that song. That was so cool. So they listened to the song, they sat with it, and then they created something connected to it.
Right.
And
did you choose them specifically? Because
I did, yeah. Because they just make such cool work. So that was my friend Sarah Thiessen, who also did a lot of the art for the album. Okay. She made that night sky woman on the front there and that owl. I love it.
The owl's great, yeah.
Oh, man. Cool. And then Quentin Bart, who plays bass in the string trio, and then Callan Fraze, who's another just awesome artist.
Cool. Is that, I mean, how did you go about deciding to do it that way instead of just making, hey, here's a music video? Like, I guess what is the... I don't even know how to ask the question, but why did you want to go about that route? Because, I mean, that's obviously a lot more work involved, right? And it's a very different kind of project. Is it just because you wanted to get those people involved in what you do, or...?
I will tell you the answer. It is one part artistic inspiration and one part practicality. Okay. I realized I needed a music video made, and that I was going on tour for like 2 straight months and could not be in the music video.
Okay, well, that's a good reason. Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, how can we spin out from this? And I love how life gives us those opportunities to be creative. And I'm really, really happy with that result.
Well, you made it's a very cool video. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. And then, you could solve the problem of not... the logistics are solved.
Yeah.
Very cool.
shame that I've done to you, you've done the same.
I was reading about the sign language stuff you're doing at shows, and that I've heard a few other people doing that as well. Like it seems like it's more and more of a high-profile thing, but I just can't understand how it works. Like I'm really curious about it because is it just literally the sign language person is interpreting the lyrics, or are they interpreting like the feeling behind it, or things like that? Because I feel like a big part of music is you're getting the emotion behind it, in addition to just what's being said, right?
Cool. Here's my understanding. So I've worked now in consultation with the people in the deaf community and with sign language interpreters for about a year on various shows. And what I have learned is really cool that, like you're wondering, the interpretation is of the meaning of the song.
Oh, that's cool.
It is expressed really using the whole body. It's very visual and very physical, this expression, and it is so cool.
Super cool.
So whenever I'm preparing with an interpreter, I send them the lyrics to the song, the recording, and comprehensive notes about, for me, what's going on as an artist in there. And then they are using their expertise in ASL, internalizing that, and really creating almost like a complementary art piece to it. And it is really, really cool. So that's what I've learned. It is a really involved process, and it's a really beautiful practice. And actually, for this show coming up on March 24th, the ASL interpretation, we're working with a consultant who's a deaf artist, Joanna Hawkins. And so she is working with hearing interpreters who can do the work of hearing the music and kind of feeling that part and understanding the timing of it. And so she's working with them to help just better express those ideas in ASL.
So it's rhythmic as well as meaning as well as lyrics as well.
Yeah, as well as an expert signer.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
How long have you been involving that in what you do?
Well, Aaron Lebar in the Free Press wrote an article maybe 18 months or 2 years ago now, and it was about access for deaf people in live shows. And they did a video with the String Trio. They invited us to do a video with ASL interpretation, and that for me was the first clue. I was like, I didn't know before that that there were people in the deaf community who were interested in live music.
And they want to go just like everyone else, right?
Yeah, there's people who totally want that, and who the feedback that I've gotten is that there's a lot of people who enjoy that and enjoy like that shared experience of art simultaneously with a group of people. It's so powerful.
Well, it's the best thing about live shows, right? Is you're there with everyone and everyone's
Totally. So the ASL interpretation really facilitates everyone having like that emotional experience at the same time. Cool. Yeah, it's super neat.
I almost wish that was a thing for the hearing community as well, to get the extra level of getting insight into the song, right? Because we're
there might be other ways that we could enhance like artistic experience for everyone.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah.
So the show that's happening on the 24th, who else is playing on the bill?
Oh, I'm so excited. So we're opening with a songwriter or an artist circle, pardon me. And I love this. So this is just like at Folk Fest where we have different artists on stage from different groups or whatever. So we're going to have Nick Dyson from Winnipeg.
Oh, he's awesome,
Okay, awesome.
He's been on the show before. He's
okay, great. And a lot of people know him from Folk Fest Young Performers.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he actually recently did a show at the library downtown.
That's right.
As part of that Folk Fest thing. I was there. It was cool.
What a cool guy.
Yeah.
Gabriella Oseo.
Okay, I've heard the name
She's super cool. She plays in this band Juvel.
Okay.
Which is like a manouche, kind of like jazz guitar time. She's very cool. And she'll be playing with Mary Sol Nagash. And then we've got my friend Abigail Lapel from Toronto, who is so good.
Cool.
So pumped that she's coming. And we're going to have a local deaf artist, Jordan Sangalang, do ASL poetry as part of
that's really cool.
Also, yeah.
So it's like an extra bonus for the people who are deaf, the community there too as well, right?
Yeah, and just with the goal of like, artists for everyone, and that I think that the whole audience will really get something out of his performance.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah. And so they're all together on stage?
Yep, and we're going to do like pieces in the round.
Right on. And then you with your band?
And then the band after the intermission. Yeah.
Great, cool,
we'll
cool. So is the band on the album the same band that you play with now live?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's the three and then you?
Yep, so for string trio we've got like myself, Raine Hamilton on the voice, the violin, the guitar, Quentin Bart on the double bass, Nathaniel Felicitas on the cello.
Right.
And then we've also got on a few tunes Daniel Roy on the drum kit.
Okay.
And Lloyd Peterson, just throwing in some electric guitar sparkles. And he recorded.
Right, yeah, his name comes up a lot on the show. A lot of people have worked with him, right?
He's awesome.
Yeah. How does when you add something like drums and electric guitar, how different is that? How does that change the dynamic? Because I mean, I think from what I've heard of your stuff too, and then the idea of a string trio and then the guitar, like it's drums maybe don't seem like they would fit, but they obviously do something to your sound, right? Like
it's sometimes I laugh about the way that I heard the drums and that we executed the drums because it is very sparse and it's very dry.
Okay.
So there's one song that is kind of a departure, a contrast to the other ones, and it's called Napman.
Okay.
And that is like a more rockin' song. And so it really fit in that style very well.
Yeah.
But other times we used the kit, we used it like so sparse and so dry.
Okay.
And I really was trying to copy Andy Schaaf's drum sound.
Okay.
Because I love it. And we kept having to like dry the drums up so much, so we put like we had a bed sheet on there, and I was like, no, dryer. We need a dryer.
Like physically drying it, not yeah.
And it just had so much stuff on the drum kit. By the end, it was really funny.
Does that? Do you bring the drum kit live too? Is that part of the live show, or is it just?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Don't you worry now, oh, and don't you cry. You can wait it out. Don't you fret, my love, oh, don't you shed a tear. You can't erase the doubt. Lift me up, stand me tall. Hear the voices, both great and small. Give me wonder, oh Lord, give me grace. Grant forgiveness in the darkest place. Follow the dark, lift your spirit up. Follow the dark, lift your spirit up. Touch the stillness with your tongue. Write the words down as they come. Light the candles, oh, I'll count each one. Light them with moonlight and light them with the sun. Follow farther apart. Some see nighttime, oh, some see the day. Look on both sides, see more that way. And don't you worry now, oh, and don't you cry. You can wait it out. Don't you fret, my love, oh, don't you shed a tear. You can't erase the doubt. Don't you worry now, and don't you cry. You can wait it out. Don't you fret, my love, oh, don't you shed a tear. You can't erase the doubt.
So you mentioned playing, you've done a lot of French stuff as well as English.
I have, yeah.
So.
Most of the stuff I've recorded and most of the stuff I do is in English.
Yeah.
And I am like an Anglophone by heritage person, but I learned French in French immersion.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, right on.
I know what it's like.
Okay, great. And yeah, for me that has been super valuable, and I love the challenge of learning in an additional language. And I've been really lucky too, the opportunities that has opened up for me.
Yeah. Does that help with touring? I mean, do you tour to a lot of francophone areas?
It has helped with work I do in schools. This past year I've done a lot of workshops, like en français songwriting workshops in French immersion and francophone schools across the province. Cool. That has been super cool. And this song, La Plaine, I got to do that with the Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra last May.
That's awesome.
That was amazing.
That must have been cool, yeah. Did you do a whole show with them or just a couple songs? Or?
It was a show of French-speaking artists from Manitoba.
Oh, right on. Okay.
So I did 2 songs in the concert hall. It was so cool.
That is really cool. How does that even work? Do they learn your stuff ahead of time and then you come out and play with them, or do you just start playing and they...
How it worked was arrangers, like professional orchestral arrangers, did arrangements. So that one was arranged by Kenley Christopherson, who I happen to have gone to university with. He's a cool guy. Thanks, Kenley.
It's one of those things that happens here, right? Everyone's sort of interconnected in some way. It's great. It's great.
We turn to each other. Yeah. It's great. And then the orchestra just like crushes the learning of that song in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, I bet.
And they're
such professionals,
right? It is amazing. Yeah. So, and you get like 3 minutes to rehearse. Yeah. It's very high stakes. That's for sure my most high pressure rehearsal of life. I bet. Yeah.
So just the one rehearsal, and then
one rehearsal.
Wow.
And there's time to run it once and maybe tweak something.
Yeah.
But it's amazing because they tweak it so fast. So we'll run it, and then the conductor might say, "Let's look over this part. Can these notes be longer? Right. Can we have more division between these notes or whatever?" And then they just do it. It's amazing.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
How does that feel to hear your music interpreted by those people? Because that must be cool just on its own, just hearing them doing your song, right?
It was so cool. It just felt to me like really otherworldly. It felt like riding a musical dragon.
That you were like at the head of?
Yeah, or just that we were all a part of.
That's
working
super
together.
Cool.
It was cool.
Did you get it recorded? Like, do you have a...
We weren't able to record it. Those kind of rights are very protected.
Oh, I guess, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Any video of it or anything though? Like someone
just
sneak a cell phone camera?
Just only the memory in my heart.
Right. That's
which I wish I could translate into an audio file, but we're not there yet.
That's super cool. The artist in the schools thing, what you were mentioning a few minutes ago, it kind of seems to fit in with the whole artist for everyone that you were saying before, but the deaf listeners and things like that, not listeners, but music fans and stuff. So how did you get involved with the art, the schools part of it?
Rad. So I really hold as a belief really strongly that art is for everyone.
Yeah, for sure.
And how I want it to be is that anyone who has that draw to create has access to skills, to training, and to like opportunity.
For sure.
And I've worked a lot with kids in my life, and so this work in artists in the schools was for me a really organic, great fit. And so I go through the Manitoba Arts Council for a week at a time to different schools across Manitoba, and we'll do either workshops in songwriting or fiddle tune writing, and I do both of those in English or in French.
Right.
And the goal is really to teach kids a process that they can use later, a process that could last them forever.
Right, if they decided to take up music a few years down the line or something.
Yeah, or that they can just use as a tool, to just, work through the experiences of life. And also to know ourselves more deeply. Because that's something I think is so powerful about creative process, is that we are looking inside to create outside of ourselves.
Yeah, for sure. Whatever it is you're creating, right? It's something coming from you. That's very cool.
So you got to look in there. Like, it's good practice to, be still in ourselves.
Yeah, and kids are so open to that too, right? I mean, because they're so young and they're just like, oh, this is great. I can say whatever I want. I can play whatever I want. I mean, just having kids myself and watching them, you give them an instrument, something comes out of it, and it's it's very different from obviously formal training and stuff. But it's definitely a freedom of not worrying what other people think, right? So that must be kind of rewarding, I would imagine, to watch kids sort of pick up on what you're doing. And
I love it, and it feels like very powerful work to me.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm really proud that I get to do that work.
Is that something you're doing ongoing, or is it just it was just for a short time, or are you still?
It's ongoing, yeah.
Nice.
And so the next deadline for that is May 15th.
Okay.
So if any school teachers or admin or anyone out there is interested,
happen to be listening,
please reach out.
That's very cool.
It's time.
That's very cool. So this album is again coming out March 24th.
That's right.
And at the West End Culture Center. And if people are hearing you for the first time here, what is the best on this podcast? Mm-hmm. What is the best way for them to find out more information about you or find what you're doing and things like that?
I would just suggest looking under any surface of the internet.
Right.
RaineHamilton.com. That's Raine, R-A-I-N-E.
Right.
Hamilton, like the city. That's probably the best place.
Okay, and then they can find tour dates, things like that.
Yep. Oh, it's all there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and we do have a bunch of touring coming.
Well, I was going to ask you about that too, because you seem to tour a lot. I just feel like just from kind of seeing you pop up on social media every once in a while, it's like, oh, touring again, going here. Now we're in this city and stuff. So, how often do you tour? How often are you actually on the road?
Between touring and the artists in the schools work, which sometimes takes me to northern Manitoba. Right. I'm home about half the time.
Okay. So where are you going to tour this album, I guess, then?
First we head west, so we're going to Saskatoon April 4th, and then we'll do a whole string out to Vancouver. Okay. And then I'll go to Toronto and do a loop of Ontario. Cool. And then summer, I'm super pumped. We haven't announced all of the festival dates yet, but they're coming up. Vancouver Island Folk Festival, or Music Festival. A bunch of cool festivals. That's awesome. In summer.
Well, it seems like a good fit for, seeing as I first saw you at the festival, it seems like a good fit, especially because the kind of versatility of, folk music, chamber music, combining it, like you were saying before, some of the songs can be more upbeat and rocky, depending on how you do it, so you can kind of fit in a lot of places, I guess.
I would say, folk festival is my natural habitat.
Makes sense, yeah, for sure.
Bury my body, bury my heart in the sea, where the air won't travel, earth turns to gravel. Bury my heart in the sea. In slow motion, bury my heart in the sea. Breath of the mother, the touch of the other. Bury my heart in the sea. Call it in, call it out. Call it in. I don't know what they told you wasn't true. Bury my, oh bury my heart. The shallow water and the tide that brought her. Bury my heart in the sea. Carry together the now and forever. Bury my heart in the sea. Bury my heart, bury my body. the sea.
And this is going to be out in stores and everything as well, I would imagine?
Yes, it will. Yeah. Online will be the easiest way at first.
But
then we'll get it
wherever you, and then obviously you can get it at shows and things like that. So do you have anything, you mentioned the touring, people can get all that information on your website. So there's a lot coming up, but they need to kind of check it out and see what's happening. Who do you think is the main audience for this? Like, what type of person is a fan of this? I know it's a hard question because, especially in Winnipeg, everyone's listens to so many different things. But you mentioned folk fest being a folk festival being your natural habitat. Yeah. Is that sort of the fan base too? Like people who?
Yeah, I think the fan base is people who want to feel a feeling.
Right, which
that's
is everyone.
Usually that I get.
Right.
That's a takeaway.
Okay.
That people appreciate.
Emotion and feeling.
Feeling feelings.
right.
I might recommend that. If you enjoy the sounds of strings as much as I do, this would be a good fit.
Yeah, for sure. The reason I ask is because I've had a few jazz artists on recently, and what's come up, I realize what you're doing is very different from jazz, but what's come up a lot in what they're saying is that a lot of their audience kind of skews older than, say, a pop band would or whatever. Like, so do you have that as well because of the classical elements? Or
my demographic tends to be like pretty wide. So young people, it's really good. Like young student folks.
Okay.
And then all the way to grandparents.
Right, because they can appreciate one element of it or the other. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? I guess I hear what you're saying, which is maybe there is like a kind of a wide appeal because of the style.
I'm not trying to say you only appeal to seniors or anything, but this is like, you have the ability to do that, right? Like because of
and that for sure. Yeah, I've gotten strong feedback from that group of people for sure.
That's cool.
Cool.
So hopefully you get everyone at the show, from babies to seniors.
Oh man, we want all kinds of people at the show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and one more thing about the show is we have some tickets that have been sponsored. Like people have really kindly offered to buy and donate these tickets, and I want to pass them along to people who face barriers to access.
Oh great, okay.
So if there's anyone out there who just would love to come to the show, but it's hard for them for any reason, just please email me, Raine at rainehamilton.com, and I have some tickets that I can give away.
That's really cool.
First come, first serve those.
That kind of goes along with the whole Artist for Everyone thing again, too, right? You're just trying to make sure everyone can...
Totally. So I've just been trying to think, I've been trying to notice, like, where are there barriers, and just seeing, like, what can I do? How can I help? Even a little.
Yeah. One, hopefully, you doing that will start other people thinking when they're doing a show. Someone could be at your show and see the interpreter and be like, oh, hey, I should do this for...
Totally. We can all do it.
Yeah, and everyone can be involved.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you want to just plug the show one more time?
Right on. So we're working up to the album release show. The album is Night Sky, and the show is Saturday, March 24th at the West End Cultural Center, and you are invited.
And how much are tickets?
Tickets are $15 in advance, $20 at the door.
Where can they get them in advance?
In advance, you can go in person to the WEC or call them into the music, both locations.
Awesome.
Internet.
Cool. And if you want to hear more episodes of this show, go to witchpolice.com, and all 270 whatever episodes are there free download and streaming, including the Shine On one we did with you a couple years ago.
Awesome.
And you can also hear us on UMFM on Sundays at midnight, and those are kind of older episodes that get a second win, so... it's beginning of March right now. This might not air on UMFM till like July or something.
Okay.
But the good thing about that is the show will be over, but the CD will be available, so people can hear this and just go out and get it. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, thanks again for meeting me in the food court. And it was awesome. High fives.
Thanks,
yeah, right
awesome.
On.
Darling, let down your long hair, that I may take some comfort there. I've been reading the signs, it won't be long. My love, won't you swallow your pride? Be at peace with your maker. My love, if you are lost, what becomes of us then? When more can be said than be done, and I have but these hands of one, and I'll turn every stone, take every chance to step to the edge of my pride, into the hands of my maker, and fall my part in the cards that I've drawn. I've been reading the signs, it won't be long. His footsteps are heard on the ground. Startled, she wakes at the sound. My love, you are here. Blessed is the night. My darling, let down your long hair.